America are white men. The lead robbers in America are white men. The largest amount of rapists are white men. The highest number of domestic abusers is white men. The highest number of arrested pedophiles is white men. The greatest number of drug dealers arrested is white men. But if you ask the average American who are the proponents of crime, is a black face to it. They're now trying to create this narrative that the immigrants are bringing into crime because they never want to own up to what it is that they have done. Part of our responsibility is to pull the sheets off. We had a shooting here in Georgia not long ago. A young man named Colt, 14 years old, went and shot up his high school. His father's now being charged. Can you imagine what conversation me and you would be having if Colt was black and Colt's black father gave him a gun? The television, the internet would explode on the irresponsibility of black fathers, on why it is that young black men have guns and are carrying guns. It has always shifted to make black men feel hyper-aggressive, hypersexual, and hyper-criminalized. It's part of a larger, historic, original sin of America that always criminalizes and points their fingers at black men when it's absolutely not true.
Message.
I'm your professor, I will test you in the worst way. Don't bring a scantron, it's pop quizzes all day. Cause of our chemistry, we do biology. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, more importantly, you saw the clip. This is the face of crime conversation. Because what happens is, everything that's black, it's overplayed, but everything that's non-black is just, and the issue with that is really this. People don't mind criminality in America if it doesn't have a black face to it. So the reason I'm saying this is because when you have the internet and these conversations about culture and 50% of the homicides that are committed by black males, and it's like, yeah, but y'all don't talk about you don't talk about all the other crime in the U.S. because it doesn't matter. And I can say the United States has always been desensitized to white criminality and to a degree Asian and Hispanic criminality, because not just of news, but more so media. Because when you look at television and movies, you see white criminality all the time, from the prison all the way basically to the White House, in all type of depictions, right? Whether it's a president who's corrupt, a senator, a congressman who's corrupt, a corrupt judge, a corrupt lawyer, a corrupt cop, a corrupt soldier in the military, a corrupt commanding officer in the military, who run criminal enterprises, by the way. To your bikers, your drug dealers, your kidnappers, your mass murderers. They all have a show or movie. You know what I'm saying? From every class, every not just class, but every industry. There's always a criminal element, right? When you put the Asian spin on it, or the Hispanic spin, there's always a cartel thing going on, and the cartel's doing this, cartel's doing that. But who's bad? The black guys. You know what I'm saying? It's the Bloods and the Crips. It's the disciples and the vice lords. It's the Negroes, right? Asians is the same thing, right? So, and I've talked about this prior. So the things that go on in society, it's immediately blamed on us. That's why you have that whole stereotypical thing. Be watching the news, you're trying to see, is it one of us? Is it one of them? And I used to tell people back in the day, you really don't actually know the crime in your city because you don't read the paper. And because papers aren't as big as they used to be, people overlook that. What happens is, with a lot of papers, is you have suburban papers. You get what I'm saying? Or small town papers. And those papers really talk about the crime. But if you get on the news, black guy, black guy did a black guy with a black guy against a black guy or a white guy, black guy. And then you read the paper, in the suburb over, there's been a meth ring. Yeah, there's been a mass shooting. There's been, a string of car robberies. There's been a string of businesses. Home Depot has been burglarized 1,000 times. It's all of that stuff. And people go, oh, whatever. And if y'all remember the show, What Would You Do? Is it Eric Keonis? Well, he had a lot of scenarios, and he would mix gender and race, and he would have these scenarios where a black guy doing something, a white guy doing something, and say a white woman doing something. So if a black guy was trying to get his bike and he, in a park, is that your bike? What are you doing? Are you stealing it? Trying to or even Slim Jim his car or whatever. Fine. It's a crime. Everybody's coming. Everybody's calling the police. Everybody's watching. White guy doing it. Hi, white guy. Oh, you didn't lock? You forgot your lock? You forgot the key? You need some help? You gonna make it? Yeah, I'm fine. Burn off with it. White woman. Let me help you. So it's that's always been a thing. So, I tell people, all people do as far as when you talk about criminality in America, all most groups of people do is they dress up as teenage or young black people and commit crimes at night. And all you're gonna say is they're black. Like there's a Hispanic guy out here, in this area where I'm at. He was just he went down a whole block just slashing tires. On people's ring cam, security cam, just walking down block, just but if you look at it, look, is that a teenage black dude? No, he's just a Hispanic dude. He just had one of them Nike track suits on, with that tech suits, whatever they call them suckers. I remember there was a ring of car thieves. I don't want to say Louisiana, California. They're predominantly Asian. What did they do? They just put on black masks and Nike Tech, just walking around stealing cars. It's like, whoa, but they didn't figure out. They had to figure it out later. It was Asians, but it's got to be the black guys. It's got to be the black kids. Black kids, black kids, black kids. It's like, oh, okay. We really don't have chop shops, right? You realize just, you know, I remember saw a news story of a massage parlor. You should know where this going. And they had a bust, a sting. So basically, the guy got the opportunity. He said, you could either shut down your business or we'll do an investigation. What did the Asian do? Well, I guess I'm closed. You know, so it's like, oh, we're gonna give you a heads up. When I think when they talk about drugs and drug dealing, it's like, bro, like, they always dealing drugs in the hood and this, that, and the third. It's like, bro, no, the plug is always in the suburbs. Always. Some suburban cat, people forget about that video with the drug dealer that was hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio years ago, right? Um, like, let me do another celebrity thing. People have been talking Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. It's been no Diddy, no Diddy, 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 no Diddy, baby, all joke, no Diddy, no Diddy. The whole time, there's the Abercrombie and Fitch CEO and his friend got a whole little ring of children going on, and nobody's saying no Abercrombie and Fitch, no Abercrombie, no, you're not doing that because if the black dude is accused of it, oh, black, 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 blackity, black, 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 black. But the white guy that is what is that? Was Epstein Island 2.0? It's like, I don't remember anything about this on the news. It was white guys. Abercrombie and Fitch. I love those clothes. They were doing what to the children? No Diddy. It's like, oh, okay. All right, bro. No, I understand. I remember watching Godfather of Harlem, the one with Forrest Whitaker, right? And I forgot one of the guys that was playing a mafia guy. He told Bumpy Johnson, who was Forrest Whitaker's character, like, about the drug trade. Like, I really just love pumping drugs in your community, not for the money. It's because I hate y'all, because y'all killed my child. So I want all y'all to, suffer, blah, blah, blah. And Bobby Johnson looking at him like, this mother. But what happened actually was another Italian mob boss paid some black dudes to kill his kid because he knew the dude wasn't going to look into it because it's black. So one of his homeboys basically put a hit out on his kid. And Bubby Johnson had to find out, black dudes kids your kids, but such and such was paid him to do so. Like, what? Not my people. It's like, yeah, you just never see it, right? Because somehow, just it didn't dawn on you that your own people would do you like that, right? So where it goes is with this criminality thing, you know, then you had these. Let me take it a step further. Then you have these little things on social media where they tell little white kids like if anything is awry, a little kids of any race really, if anything's awry and you feel unsafe, run to a black dude, or because we're not known for taking, snatching up kids and doing bad stuff to kids. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but that's not our thing. We don't have the same reputation of white guys, Hispanic guys, and predominantly like Middle Eastern guys, of snatching kids and all that. That's not us. So it's like, yo, if you run to them, they're going to protect you. And it's like, oh, okay. You tell your kids to run to us, but our kids get killed by yours, by your people. Ain't that interesting? But it's not looked at that way. You get what I'm saying? Because we got to be the face of crime. And even with black people, you got people, on YouTube who play that, black people and non-black people. Oh, look at what the black people did today. Oh, let's talk about it. Oh, let's talk about it. And the same people, when white people do stuff, we're gonna wait until somebody black does something because we're not gonna talk about this. Oh, because I could get views, boy. YouTube gonna all the little white nationalists gonna come out and say, look at the blackity black, blackity black beep, and even the black people are like, yeah, get him. Then you don't hear them talking about Abercrombie and Finch. You don't hear that. You don't hear them talking about a mass robbery. You don't hear them talking about mass killings and nothing, school shootings, mass shootings, or even the guy that did the thing in New Orleans. Somebody's like, he black. Like, no, you're not. It's, oh, he not? Well, let's just go on, He had the ISIS flag. You know what I'm saying? We beefing with ISIS anyways. It's not a big deal. Same thing when Asians get mad and shoot up the joint. It's like, it's just, it's always, everybody else's criminality is basically an anomaly every time something happens, to the point where and it's weird to say this, but to the point where people commit crimes in front of your face and you go, can't believe it. Like, when I say people have all these, they have like car rings and car thefts. What kind of people you think is actually going places and with the ability to just take all four tires off of a car and put it on bricks? Apartment complexes in the suburbs, downtown, in the city, in garages. Who you think doing it? Like, seriously, who you think doing it? Who y'all think, they have shootings and nobody knows anything? Who you think shooting? Y'all really think it's black people? Just pow, 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 pow. No. Out racing cars, daytime, middle of the night. Yeah. Police don't know nothing. It's like, oh, okay. Oh my God, here we go. So we're the face of everybody's criminality, but everybody, you know, knows this. I remember before I go, there's this clip on YouTube of a black like U.S. Marshal. It's an old clip. They call the guy Batman or something, and he was like, they were doing like drug busts and whatnot, and they were busting a whole lot of people, black people in the hood, and then they get information and they're supposed to go up the ladder to the head of the organization, right? So every time they got close enough to get to the suburbs, he's like, "Say, when we gonna start going to these these areas, these suburban areas, and getting this stuff, cleaning this stuff up, man. Because this is where, this is where the leads is going. His commanding officers, oh, we can't all do that because look, those kids, their people are connected. They have lawyers and judges, and they know some of the people on the force, and they know mayors. So if we bust them, oh my God, man, we don't want a lawsuit by busting a white drug dealer in the white suburbs who's been giving all the drugs at the hood. I know we're that's our job, but that we're not supposed to bust that type of crime. And he's like, okay, okay, gotcha. So the fact that all these people get caught that are white with all these crimes should let you know it's like y'all really don't know how much crime actually people get away with that are non-black. And I've seen it. I've seen the cops bust people, with drugs on them, but they white. Go somewhere. Whether they be teenagers, whether they be adults, it's just it's weird. And most of y'all seen it in shows or comedy guys talk about it like, I didn't know that, officer. The reason why they can keep making stories and skits and what do you call that, shows about that is because it keeps happening. How did that happen? He just sat in the car? Go, officer, I didn't know I was speeding. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was about, you're sneaking guns in the airport, drugs in the airport. It's like, wait, going on private planes. There was a guy, and before I go, there was a guy talking about this on Instagram. Old white, middle-aged white guy. They would rent private jets and send people on shopping sprees, basically from Europe to America, to go buy Louis Vuitton. And they use these private planes to fly from the UK to America. Not UK, Europe to America. And they told them, when you do the private plane route, they let you know where the office is at, or the DA, not customs. So they'll fly purposely to a area that it takes customs 2 hours to get to in the airport, and they just take all the dope because they'll fill up all the Louis Vuitton luggage with pills. You get what I'm saying? So they fill them up with pills. They getting their drug run on. The people land on the private jet. Nobody knows the wiser, right? And if the police come, they're already gone. So all of this crime takes a whole lot of money, and somehow nobody goes up the tree long enough to know where the money is. And that's why I say you see it in your favorite movies and shows. And some of these are either based on real things, or they are actually real things. If y'all didn't know Usual Suspects, the robbing the cops, that was a real story that happened in New Orleans, like the 80s, I want to say. Blow, the one with Tom Cruise, real story. When y'all watch Snowfall, that's based on a real story. You get what I'm saying? So all of the, Breaking Bad, real story. But it's just like, I think Sons of Anarchy is based on a real story. But let me get out of here, man. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I had.